we had the problem of privacy and the problem of streams of folks waiting to get into the Marion House. And because our facility was so small, we had single moms with their 3 and 4 and 5 children waiting outside. So those lines were kind of interconnecting. And so I could see right away that we had to move in order to achieve privacy for our families and privacy for our caseworkers. So my first week or two as the executive director, I literally strolled around downtown looking for space. And fortunately, I found it at 7 East Bijou. And that provided privacy for us. I wanted individual offices for our caseworkers. And it provided enough space at that time for us to get going. Let me tell you though, the most exciting effort that I had in 93, 94 timeframe was trying to get PIH on the map, that we were not just a transit organization in town. And I felt the best way to do that was to transition from an agency that rented property to an agency that owned property. And that took a lot of convincing, because we were a kind of tradition bound even then. And so I had to convince my board that this was the way to go. And they agreed with me, and they gave me the reins to accomplish that. And so from about 1993, 94, our effort was in expanding our agency so that we could serve more folks, but we wanted to own everything. We wanted the community to know that we were here for the long haul, not the short run. And the way to do that, I felt, was to show that we were investing in the community on a full-time, long-range basis. If you compare 1993 with today, in 1993, we used the term hidden homeless, a lot of times referring to families with kids, because they stayed hidden. They weren't out there in a visible way. I think in 1993, they were more hidden than they are today, because today the struggle of family homelessness has become a really big issue, and the community understands it. And even the families understand that they can reach out for help and not be afraid, even though there is some fear there, but not be totally afraid of what they're going to face if they come out and express their needs and their wants for their families. Searching for homeless families was one of the challenges, because there wasn't a great infrastructure in communicating. And so that all had to be developed with a lot of agencies in town. And because they were hidden, it made it a little bit more challenging to fundraise, because the funders didn't see the problem as much as they do today, and understand the problem as much as they do today. And that's not to say today that families are oftentimes hidden, but their problems are much better known today, much better understood by the community. When we started out, we had over 90% of our families were headed by a single mom. I think today, and maybe it's a function of coming out of hiding, etc., but today we have lots of families headed by single dads, and families headed by two-parent families that are in a homeless state. And that's because today the economy has gone through so many rigors and has left families destitute who are intact families and don't have as much social dysfunction as we faced in 1993. It made the community better because we had successful families that went through some very challenging times, but wound up being extremely productive members of the community, tax-paying members of Colorado Springs, whereas before they were taking funding out of Colorado Springs. And there are a zillion stories we could tell if Mary and I got our heads together, we could tell seriously probably 1,000 stories of successes. But folks, families going into everything from nursing to computer technology to teaching, etc. One of the great thrills I had was when one of our family graduates actually became my boss at one time. She became the president of the board of directors and was originally a partner family in Partners in Housing. As the families improved, the community improved. And I think today that the community of Colorado Springs and El Paso County is honestly a showcase for the country in the way to handle homeless families with kids. Well, the words that came to my mind first is a great community organization. I say it's a great community organization without saying a great housing organization or a great life skill. It's all of those things working together with other nonprofits to really make the community a better community.